Good evening and welcome to Loose Cannon. Today we intend to discuss corruption, Corona, Donald Trump and President Joe Biden. We have Faisal Sherjan at the studio, Ms. Zhao Goswami and Hamza at the Dummy Museum, and of course our friend Uncle Z live from Washington, D.C. Hello, Uncle Z. How are we today?
Oh, I'm great, Mr. Aftab Sab. How are you doing?
I'm good. Uncle Z, why do you call me Mr. Aftab Saab? Do you know how annoyed our viewers are?
Well, what are you talking about, Mr. Aftab Sab? Why are they annoyed?
Because they think calling Mr. and Saab together is just like calling Mr. Aftab.
Wait. Now you're going to tell me that saying something like chai tea is saying TT and me saying non-bread is saying bread. You going to tell me that too, Mr. Aftab Sab? Tell your viewers how to learn the language. Go tell them to learn the language.
You mean English?
No, American.
Yes, as they call footpath a sidewalk and a toilet a restroom. Is that right?
That's right. That's what our language is. You got to learn the language if you're going to watch this show.
So American, where you call a dustbin a trash can and you call a pub a bar.
Oh, well, hello, Mr. Faisal Sherjan. I was worried about you. I didn't see you last week. I thought maybe you listened to Mr. Goswami and went back to Afghanistan.
I actually did, Uncle Z. I made a quick trip. I went and met my dear cousin, Mullah Ghani brother. And Mr. Goswami is going to get an invite to a hot cup of tea.
Oh my God! Wow, Mr. Faisal Sherjan, there are not a lot of people alive on the surface of this earth who could handle me twice.
Well, I, for one, am happy to see Mr. Faisal Sherjan back here with us. Welcome back, Mr. Faisal Sherjan. We're happy to have you.
Thank you, Uncle.
Uncle Z, not a good start. But okay, namaste, how are you?
Oh, Mr. Goswami, are you back out of bars again? Are you back out of jail? What's going on?
Come on. Let's not beat about the bush this time round. You know how powerful I am.
What are you talking about, Mr. Goswami? What kind of powers? What are you, some kind of superhero with superpowers now?
Oh my God, you know it, Uncle Z.
Know what? We would also like to know that.
Mr. Aftab Iqbal, can you just let us have our moment? Please don't interrupt, please.
You can have your moment after the show, okay?
Oh my God. Uncle Z, handle him.
Can someone please do something about Mr. Goswami? Why does he get so excited?
That's my job. The TRPs.
The TRPs you had been tampering with?
Oh my God, not again. This is nothing but the hoopla. Nothing else. It's just the Pakistani media.
You know, Mr. Goswami has a good point. I didn't read about any of this in Al Jazeera or the other international media sources.
You will never do
I tried to learn
that.
a little bit more about it. There was nothing in Al Jazeera.
Yeah, because Al Jazeera had been silencing everybody who speaks against him.
Really? Why? I never knew Mr. Goswami was so popular and so significant.
He's neither popular nor significant. He just has a bunch of imposters who claim to be journalists, but actually are... Yes,
Mr.
what?
Mr.
Yes,
Aftab
what?
Iqbal,
Yes.
catch me if you can.
He blatantly says, catch me if you can.
Oh,
Mr. Sherjan, who is censoring the media when it comes to Goswami?
Media is no longer free as we imagine it to be. Al Jazeera has been guilty of many a spin, right, and an agenda. Right now, it suits them to be propping up somebody like Mr. Goswami.
Mr. Sherjan, how about we don't stretch the argument no more? Come on.
Okay, don't shout. We are listening.
Well, this is my normal tone. I haven't even started shouting yet.
Ever considered putting a silencer on your tone?
Oh my God. Wow.
Okay, I want to involve China.
Mr. Aftab Iqbal.
Yes.
Mr. Aftab Iqbal.
Go on, I'm listening.
At least you should have told me before having the Chinese rap on the show. I would have brought my sanitizer with myself.
Oh,
Come on.
Gotcha.
What a loser you are, Goswami.
Goswami, such a rude thing to say.
What? I haven't even started talking about the bad soup.
Come on.
Mr. Goswami is such an insensitive guy, Mr. Iqbal.
Yes, indeed he is. Please ignore him. Ms. Zhao, how do you respond to the allegation that China created COVID-19 as a weapon?
Well, hold on. In case you didn't know, Mr. Aftab Sab, it's called the Wuhan flu for a reason. The Chinese created and concocted this disease as an act of biological warfare to launch against the earth. The Chinese are very, very terrible people.
Oh my Wuhan. Stop this, Uncle Z. You are being such a racist. You see, Trump is gone now, and you have no excuse anymore.
You heard her.
Miss Ching Chang Chow, I am just stating the facts.
Oh my God, I'm loving this. I'm loving this. How about you give me some popcorns, Mr. Aftab Iqbal? Please give me some popcorns.
Salted or caramel?
Anything would do. Right now, anything would do.
How about a knuckle duster?
Mr. Aftab Iqbal.
Yes.
Why are you people always so violent?
We are not so violent. You force us to be that.
I was just asking for some popcorns because I was loving Mr. Uncle Z's convo. Mwah!
Do you know, Goswami?
Yes.
Once again, I will tell you, you are a pain in the neck.
Oh my God, not again the pain thing.
Are you sure you don't mean a pain in the something else?
No, it is pain in the neck.
Uncle Z, I would describe Mr. Goswami as a pape kutni. Now, that is what we define as a backyard gossip,
Yeah.
who's always trying to light little fires.
Oh, these Indians love firecrackers, don't they?
Yeah, let's not talk about the Chinese, what they like. Okay? Let me not get started again, Miss whatever your name is.
Address her as Miss Zhao.
Miss Zhao.
Yeah.
Please, yahan se chali Zhao.
Mr. Iqbal, what do you think Mr. Goswami is?
Nothing but a stupid daydreamer. Ignore him. By the way, Miss Zhao, why don't you address this point once and for all, the allegation raised by Uncle Z?
Actually, Mr. Iqbal, let me tell you the true story. The news is that it is actually America that launched this disease against China.
What do you say, Uncle Z?
What news? Fake news? What news are we talking about? Fake news.
This is no fake news, Uncle Z.
Well, there isn't actually, Uncle Z. The truth is that it is not determined how this virus actually...
Whoa. What are you going to say next? It was the Jews and the Germans?
You can't put Jews and Germans in the same boat.
Come on, Mr. Aftab Saab, give me a break. What is all this crap?
What will happen to this great wall of America, Uncle Z, now since Trump is gone?
Oh, how dare you insult the Great Wall of China, Mr. Iqbal?
Can't you take a joke?
It must be a joke because it is a joke.
Yes, it is a joke. Some people's birth is a joke.
Oh dear, I know what you're referring to.
Don't mind Goswami. Please don't.
No, I was just...
I didn't mention your name.
See how happy she is.
I didn't mention your name.
Oh.
It was not your birth.
I can read between the lines, Mr. Aftab Iqbal. Don't forget that.
Mr. Goswami is an immaculate conception.
What does that even mean?
Have you seen the movie Immaculate Conception?
Not yet.
Lovely movie.
What is it about?
It is about your birth. That was an immaculate conception.
Okay. So long as it is immaculate, I'll take that.
Everything that glitters is not gold, Mr. Goswami.
Very true, Mr. Aftab Saab.
Okay, let's get back to my question, Uncle Z. What happened to the wall on the southern border?
It was a pathetic failure, Mr. Aftab Saab. It was poorly planned, poorly conceived, and piss poorly constructed.
Uncle Z, you mean to tell us the greatest president of the greatest nation on earth made such a big boo-boo?
Yes, in fact, my views have evolved. I no longer believe that he was the greatest president. Actually, quite the opposite. The facts have come open that he was, in fact, the worst president in the history of the United States.
I'm glad you think so, Uncle Z. Did you see the lowest approval rate? 34% he left the White House with.
Yes, Mr. Aftab Saab. In fact, Donald Trump is proud of having that 34% approval rating. He set a new record with the lowest ever approval rating in history leaving office. And he also set the record of being the only president not to show up to the inauguration of the next president.
Wow.
Donald Trump is all about himself and setting new records.
He'll be very popular in the Guinness Book of Records.
Oh, yes.
Don't you think he was one of the most corrupt presidents you ever had?
Look, Mr. Aftab Iqbal, if you want to see corruption, look at China. They are the worst country on earth with their new imperialism. They're launching cyber attacks. They're launching covert espionage. They're doing biological warfare. They're doing all sorts of nasty stuff.
Lies! Uncle Z, are you really that naive or you're just doing this to annoy me?
How more pathetic can you be, Miss Shao? Are we pretending here?
Language, Mr. Goswami.
No, Mr. Aftab Iqbal. Are we really pretending here? Uncle Z. Now you see, Miss Zhao, FSJ, and along with Mr. Aftab Iqbal, they're trying to drag me into the mud. Here's my counter to it. Have you guys ever heard about broadsheet scandal?
Why don't you talk about the farmers scandal? Why don't you talk about Kashmir?
And why don't you talk about messaging the Prime Minister before Pulwama?
Why don't you talk about tampering with the TRPs?
Anybody hearing me?
Yes, we are all hearing
No,
you.
not you. I'm trying to contact somebody else.
Your driver maybe? You want to run away?
You see, Uncle Z, India is the most corrupt nation, I would say.
Oh, the irony.
She means India under Modi, under Goswami's Modi.
Definitely, Mr. Iqbal, definitely.
Uncle Z, do you know what this broadsheet scandal is actually?
Mr. Pervez Musharraf might have had noble intentions in mind. This whole broadsheet mess is fraught with corruption and fraud.
Uncle Z, where do you think they went wrong?
Mr. Musharraf hired people who had no business in the business of what they were trying to do. They even hired a lawyer to lead the team who had been disbarred from the United States of America. Now that is not a good start if you ask me.
So not a good start from Musharraf, then what happened?
Well, you know what's worse than hiring a bunch of people that don't know what they're doing? Not paying those fools for what they're not doing. Then your company can go into liquidation, and that's what happened next.
See, you Pakistanis can't even get fraud and corruption right.
FSJ, your take.
My take, number one, Uncle Z, these bounty hunters were actually from Colorado in the US of A. And secondly, Mr. Goswami has got to be the only person on earth who takes pride in being better at fraud and chicanery.
I won't take the personal attacks.
Look who is talking.
Mr. Goswami, that really is the pot calling the kettle black.
So Uncle Z, what went wrong exactly?
Well, basically, what didn't go wrong, Mr. Aftab Iqbal? It was poorly planned and poorly executed. They literally went in with a blanket agenda to go get 20% of any and all dollars that they could then reacquire from money that was illegally stolen from the government of Pakistan. They even gave themselves jurisdiction to get 20% off of any monies reacquired in Pakistan itself, which makes no sense because the Pakistani government should be able to do that on its own without hiring any third-party company. In itself, it was a whole mess of a mess.
Yes, Uncle Z, I agree with you. It was one of the most ridiculously drafted documents ever.
I am the one who gets called moron all the time. Who's the moron now?
Well, Mr. Goswami, calm down. I think everyone agrees that you're still the moron as well. Just because this was a moronic decision doesn't make you any less of a moron, dummy.
If you ask me, he gets the gold medal. He's the number one.
I second you.
And China seconds me.
Who cares about China anyways?
The world does, Mr. Goswami.
Which word?
The world ahead of you.
Oh my God.
Okay, Goswami, it's a serious matter. Silent. Listen to me for a while. Uncle Z, who was broadsheet LNC going after then?
Mr. Musharraf's top targets happened to be some of his greatest enemies, including Mr. Nawaz Sharif.
Now we are talking. If you cannot tackle him with the army, take the poor man's entire money away and make him helpless.
It looks like Mr. Goswami just got a deposit in his Swiss bank account.
Oh my God. God.
Did you, Mr. Goswami?
Not at all.
You should say not yet. Maybe the Bank of Baroda. Goswami?
No, I'll never get caught.
Okay, Uncle Z, how much did they recover? Was there any accomplishment?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, they did recover $7.5 million.
Just 7
That's it?
Peanuts. So then what happened?
So in 2003, after the government cut ties with Broadsheet LLC, they continued. In 2007, as I mentioned to you before, they liquidated. However, in 2008, there was an arbitration because a new company came in to revive Broadsheet LLC to go after the Pakistani government. As a matter of fact, this new Broadsheet LLC went into arbitration and won an award for $29 million against the Pakistani government.
Ironically, that is true. FSJ?
Yeah, Uncle Z, given all these facts, what do you think Mr. Anthony Evans was smoking when he gave that award?
Well, I don't know what he was smoking, but I sure would like some of that, if you know what I mean. The money that was awarded to Broadsheet LLC was not based off of any money that they recovered. But unfortunately, after the Panama Papers came out that showed that Nawaz Sharif had hundreds of millions of dollars stashed away, the $29 million was based off of the potential profits that were lost by Broadsheet LLC since they were not able to go through their charter and get all of the monies that they were originally charged to go after.
Now I've got to ask, what was Mr. Evans sniffing alongside whatever he was smoking?
Okay, Sheikh, are you Arabs worried about Joe Biden ushering in a new Arab Spring that will eliminate the monarchies and strongmen there?
No, no, no. That was just a one-time thing. In fact, all these revolutions have always led to worse governments for the people.
FSJ?
Sheikh Hamza, on the anniversary of the Arab Spring, Tunisia has erupted again. And this could possibly lead to a chain reaction now that Mr. Biden is in office and democracy will once again be exported wrapped in donuts.
Okay, Uncle Z, what do you say? Should the Arab leaders be worried about that?
I would say yes. Those Arab leaders better be worried and better be on their best behaviors under Joe Biden.
And don't you forget my lovely Kamala. We have to discuss all these matters, Bachu. Wait.
Why don't we discuss your legal matters, Bachu?
Stop calling me Bachu.
Okay, then I'll call you Kachu.
Oh my God. What does that even mean?
It is even worse.
I'll take the Bachu.
Okay, Miss Zhao, a question to you.
Yes.
What is happening to the Uyghurs? Is it really as bad as it sounds?
As bad as who says? What do you mean, Mr. Iqbal?
I mean to say...
Truth is about to come out. This is making me excited already.
Can you please keep quiet, Goswami?
Okay, I'll just listen. I'll just hear it out. Yes, please.
Okay, Miss Zhao, now you have to comment on this. The allegation of oppression of Muslim minorities in China.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm not sure you can talk about this on TV, Mr. Aftab Sab.
I've already told you, Uncle Z, this is not TV. Miss Zhao, please answer the question.
Mr. Iqbal, there are no concentration camps. We are just providing them with education.
Wait a minute, Miss Zhao. I didn't even mention the concentration camps.
Whoop!
Whoa, 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 whoa. We really need to change the subject here. We do not want our show to get banned in China, and we do not want to get attacked by Chinese cyber terrorists.
Speaking of terrorism, Mr. Iqbal, we don't want the Uyghurs to become terrorists. We just want to help them. We want to become better and adapt to the Chinese culture.
When we do this in our country, you blame us. Wow.
What you're doing is terrorism, Mr. Goswami.
Nope.
You are forcing the people to change their religion, Goswami.
We're actually forcing them to change their behavior because that's really nasty. Nastier than you.
We are not nasty at all. You're nasty.
Listen, team, our show is going to get canceled right now, right when we were about to take off. Can we please just change the subject?
What are you so afraid of, Uncle Z?
I think I know why Uncle Z wants to change the subject. He doesn't want us to talk about oppression in the US of A, starting with the Native Americans, going on to the Japanese internment during the Second World War, continuing with the Hispanics and other nations, and now, how does he answer for the continued oppression of the African Americans? Do black lives even matter in the US, Uncle Z?
Yes, of course, Mr. Faisal Janjan. All lives matter. Black lives matter, white lives matter, brown lives matter, yellow lives matter, purple lives matter.
I feel like playing the guitar with your melody, Uncle Z. You're just singing songs.
Well, what kind of song do you want to sing? Let's sing a song right now. I've heard you're a great guitarist.
Sing about the black lives. Do they matter?
All lives matter in the United States.
Well, Uncle Z, this is why we call the United States of America the Great Satan.
And these days we call Mr. Modi the small Satan.
Why are you bringing Mr. Modi in this convo?
Because you won't go to Kandahar for a cup of tea with me, Mr. Goswami.
Okay, I'll pass that. I'll never go.
Go with me then.
Going with you? Have you gone nuts? I would rather prefer to drink a whole bottle of bleach.
Please do that. What would Joe Biden's administration mean to the Arab world? Does it mean more wars in the Arab world?
If you look under the Obama administration, it was one of the largest increases in military force to enter into the Middle East. When Mr. Biden comes back into office and launches the same diplomacy, there could be more wars and more trouble for our friend Sheikh Hamza.
Uncle Z, you're my best friend, bro.
Arnab, shut up before I come and sit on you.
What did he just say? He's going to come up and sit on me?
Sheikh, that was so good. Whether you come and sit on Mr. Goswami or piss on Mr. Goswami, the end is the same. He will die either by drowning or being crushed.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. He's going to sit on you like an American toilet, not like an Indian toilet.
Even worse.
Mr. Iqbal, this discussion is disgusting.
Thank you.
But keeping the person in view, I think it's all right.
Wow, what a U-turn. Wow.
I like this Chinese girl. Mr. Iqbal, you didn't hear me well.
What did you say?
I like Chinese girl.
Tell me something I don't know, Hamza.
Wait, what is going on here, Mr. Iqbal?
He was appreciating you. He likes you very much.
Wait. I got to stand up right now for Ms. Zhao. We can allow Sheikh Hamza to add her to his harem.
It was just a friendly compliment. What do you say, Miss Zhao?
I think it's all right. I allow that.
You heard her, Uncle Z.
Hey, it sounds to me like Ms. Zhao might have a crush on Sheikh Hamza after all.
Well, that's not true. You're going way beyond.
Bad bargain.
In case of Mr. Goswami, every time his lips move, it is an international incident.
I'll take that as compliment.
Every time you open your mouth, Goswami, it becomes an environmental hazard.
Oh my God. I should have known that already. That I'm surrounded by enemies.
No, you're not surrounded by enemies.
Then,
You have friends also.
where are they?
Don't you think, Goswami, I'm your friend?
Oh, well, in that case, my name is Robert De Niro. I'm not Goswami no more.
Thanks a lot, my dear friends, especially you, Uncle Z. We'll meet up in the next episode. Until then, goodbye.